I firmly believe that people have every ability to create the best life for them. We only get one of them, and we don't know when it's going to end. So don't spend your time working in a job that you hate and you can't do anything on your days off because you're so freaking tired. It's pointless. What is up, healthcare squad? Logie here with Healthcare Stress Relief. I hope you are hanging in there in the COVID times. I know that right now everything is up in the air. It feels like nothing is going to end. There's a lot of pain going on in the profession. There are countless nurses who every day wake up and they are questioning if they should continue their job as a nurse. And in this video, I'm going to cover that. I got 6 reasons why you should leave nursing. And this isn't just completely quitting the profession and leaving. It could be as simple as just leaving your unit or taking some time off. This is not something that's talked about in the profession. Most of the people that I worked with, when I told them I was leaving to go fulfill my dream of living in Colombia, they said, "You're crazy. You just got into this profession." But for me, I knew what I wanted to do, and a lot of the reasons that I'm going to describe today in this video about why you should leave were reasons why I left. So let's go ahead and jump in, and hopefully this is going to help you get more clarity as to if you should really leave the profession. So number 1, and this is something that not a lot of people take seriously until they're in so much pain, you're developing symptoms. So for me, this manifested as eczema. My whole entire body was covered, and I got to a point where I was finally like, enough is enough. But that was rock bottom for me. That was just pure pain and depression, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. But a lot of my coworkers develop high blood pressure, chronic migraine, plantar fasciitis, all of these issues that may not seem like that much because you have to keep working. They don't take it serious enough, and then later down the road, they end up having a heart attack or something of this nature. And stress, it causes chronic inflammation in the body. And if you are too stressed out, you're going to have way more problems. And sadly, a lot of people, they do not make a change until it's too late. So if you're developing symptoms, that's a good sign that you are very stressed out. Point number 2, I love my job has been replaced by I hate my job. And it's not going to be the same every day. There were some days that I would wake up and absolutely hate my job. But for the most part, I did love it. When I got to the point where more than 50% of the time I was saying I don't want to go into work, now that's when you really need to evaluate, do I need to make a massive change here? And you don't have to do what I did and completely leave the country and move to South America. But what you can do is save up enough money and just take some time off. And during that time, spend it going inside and practicing some deep introspection and identifying what you would really want in your dream profession. If it's still nursing, what unit would you want to work on? How would your employer treat you? When you start looking into these things, you can find exactly what you want, and you can make your dream profession your reality. But you can't do that until you step back and really look at it. And if you're in too stressful of an environment or a toxic work environment or something you just really don't like, you're not going to have the time and the mental energy to do this. But it's really important if you want to live your dream reality. Number 3, and this is a huge one, you don't have enough energy on your days off to do what you love. And I like to describe this as living to work instead of working to live. I noticed with a lot of my coworkers, they would pick up just a ton of overtime shifts. And what were they doing? They were putting all of this money into their car payments and their house payments, doing something that society just told them that they should do. Is just you just buy a house and you buy a car, a nice one, and you spend a lot of money on it, and you get stuck in the system. And the big shift I made in my mind when I was going through all this pain was I want my job to be fulfilling, but I also want to make my money so I can enjoy myself on my days off. When you don't have enough energy to enjoy yourself on your days off, why are you doing it? A lot of us don't get me wrong, we get into the profession because we want to help others and it's a big calling, but we also work for money. And money is an exchange of energy. If you do not have energy on your days off and you are working for money, that money is absolutely useless because you worked so you can have freedom, right? If you don't have any freedom on your days off because you're so tired, there was really no point to doing it. So you got to find a unit or a profession that gives you satisfaction in your work, but also energy on your days off so you can enjoy yourself, so you can go do the activities that you love. If you love playing the guitar and you don't have enough time or energy to play the guitar because you're so tired from all of your shifts and from all that's going on with the crisis right now, it's time to reevaluate, because that's no way to live. Not in my book. And I firmly believe that people have every ability to create the best life for them. We only get one of them, and we don't know when it's going to end. So don't spend your time working in a job that you hate and you can't do anything on your days off because you're so freaking tired. It's pointless. Let's dive into number 4. You have lost compassion for your patients. And I would be lying if I said this doesn't happen to almost everyone, because if you see enough pain and suffering with your patients, it's going to create a wall within you, and you might lose a little bit of compassion. Now, I know some nurses who've been in the profession for 30 years and they're the most compassionate people, but there is still a big difference from when you first start the career to when you've been in it for a couple of years or even 30 years. Now, if you start losing compassion for your patients, you don't really love your career anymore, because you probably got into the career for your patients and obviously to provide for your family and all of that stuff. But when we choose our careers, we usually want a career that we enjoy. And most of us get into nursing because we think we're going to enjoy it, right? So if you start becoming very jaded and you stop providing the care that you would provide for your own family members just because a patient is a certain way, and I'm not going to get into all the nuances here, but if you stop looking at your patients as human beings and just start seeing them as another patient that you have to work with because you had to walk into work today and you don't really want to be here, it's time to reevaluate. Because in this world, in this life, I firmly believe that we have to be of service to other people. We need to serve ourselves and fill our cups first, but true happiness comes from giving back. And if you're in a career such as nursing where there's a lot of giving back and what you're giving is not really the care that patients desire and need, then it's time to find one where you can give your full energy and your full attention and still have energy on your days off. Number 5, this is huge with coworkers, and depending on the environment you work in, if there are a lot of people who have become burnt out, you talk or complain about your job all the time. Now, a really good thing that I did when I was a new nurse was I was able to, for the most part, turn work off when I went home. But unfortunately, it got to the point where work had created a very terrible symptom in my body, which goes back to point 1, which I couldn't really forget about all the crap that was going on at that point. But I've noticed with a lot of my coworkers when I was working, they would all go out to get drinks after work and they just talk about their patients and all the crap they had to go through. And this does serve a very big purpose, so you can get rid of all of your anger and maybe your resentment or anything you're holding on to. But if you're doing that every time you get off of work and you go home and you complain to your wife and your husband and your kids about how much you hate your job, that is a huge sign that you need to leave. You do not need to stay in a career that you do not enjoy. You don't. You only get one life. So start living it. Last one, number 6, you can serve way more people in another profession and you can be way more happy in another profession. Now, I will tell you firsthand, I would not be in this business right now if I did not have just a gigantic passion for it. And I firmly believe that I can help way more healthcare professionals, especially nurses, with what they're going through than I could with the patients I was working with. I feel that I can make a bigger change and a lasting impact while I'm here on earth by doing this. And so if you can find an avenue or another profession or another unit that you feel you could provide more of a service to humanity, which is going to bring you way more happiness, then you got to go for it. And I'll just end this point with, you can set yourself up to be way happier than you are right now. I know it's hard to see that because you're living in your own reality right now. But trust me, I had to make some very hard decisions leaving a career that I spent 5 years trying to get, going through school and then working for 2 years. It was really hard to leave. Really hard. You build an identity with the profession of nursing because it's a very highly regarded career. But with that being said, there's no reason you can't leave. When one door closes, another opens. And there's a lot of fear and anxiety when we close the first door, but on the other side, there's often a big pot of gold. When you leave your comfort zone, you can find what you really want. So I will leave it at that. I just want you guys to know that you can create whatever you want. I'm here to help you. I have a program right now that is helping healthcare professionals decrease their burnout and find passion in life again. And if that means you having to quit your career, I can help you with that. If that means helping you navigate what you're going through right now in your nursing career, I can help with that. So reach out to me and check out the links in the bio if you are interested in hearing more. Keep on keeping on. You guys are doing great work, and I will talk to you later.